This is Hef Munson from Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News with an update about the Arlington County Town Hall meeting. Arlington County held their third weekly virtual town hall meeting on Friday, April 17th, and despite a slightly late start and one minor technical hitch, it was well worth the time. As promised last week, the principal topic was food. County board members in attendance were Libby Garvey, Katie Crystal, and Matt DeFerrante. Guests included Dr. Aaron Miller, Diane Kresh, Abby Raphael, and Amy McCloskey. Mr. DeFerrante opened by noting that no evictions were allowed for the time being and that the county was reaching out to keep both landlords and tenants informed. However, there was no mention of the concept of rent forgiveness. We bring this up because of a story in the New York Times in which a landlord with a few hundred tenants sent out a notice informing them all that there would be no rent charged for the month of April. When asked about his decision, the landlord declared that he was willing to accept the loss of thousands of dollars in exchange for the safety and peace of mind of his tenants. Admittedly, not every landlord in Arlington can afford to be so magnanimous, but it seems likely that at least a couple of them can, or at least grant a reduction. We would love to be able to report such an occurrence here in Arlington. Some better news was the announcement of $100,000 being given to AFAC, the Arlington Food Assistance Center, from the county's contingency fund. Meanwhile, economic development is trying to coordinate with local grocery stores to assure adequate levels of safety and social distancing. The Arlington County Public Schools are continuing their grab-and-go food service, which is open from Monday through Friday and provides breakfast and lunch. The recently formed Cooperative for a Hunger-Free Arlington is also coordinating and communicating with organizations such as Meals on Wheels and farmers markets, in addition to AFAC and Arlington's public schools. A question was raised about citizens who are financially well off but housebound due to age or physical limitations. The proposed solution was a buddy system in which a nearby neighbor would volunteer to make grocery runs or perform other errands. To facilitate the arrangements, Arlington Community Corps can liaise between those in need and those who can help. Another encouraging item was the donation of $75,000 by the Arlington Community Foundation. That was for more food. We did get a delayed answer to the question we asked last week about testing, but the answer was disappointing. Although the Virginia Hospital Center is continuing their drive-up testing program, and additional testing is available through LabCorp, Innova, and several urgent care facilities, the total number of tests completed in Arlington as of the meeting date was a little more than 2,100. Given Arlington's population of over 230,000, that is a rate of less than 1%. There was some hopeful talk about the social distancing and stay-at-home measures reducing the spread of the virus, with results expected after a 14-day period, but accurate projections from so small a sample size seem unlikely, especially given the observed non-compliance of some county residents. One important message was the fact that the food services will provide nourishment to everyone who comes by without requiring any identification. This means that people whose immigration status is in question need not fear exposure or retribution from seeking help. Katie Crystal raised a worthwhile observation regarding possible enforcement of any future mandate for the wearing of masks. If the objective is for everyone to wear a mask, it makes more sense to provide them with one than to charge them a fine for not having one. This was a very good observation. Some kindly citizens wanted to even donate their expected stimulus checks to help with food donations, and this was encouraged, especially for purchases of canned goods. That being said, after the meeting, Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News called AFAC to obtain some clarification and amplification of that message. There is an economy of scale involved. AFAC confirmed that if they receive cash donations, they can obtain bulk discounts on many food items. $50 spent at a grocery store at retail prices will buy more food if given to AFAC for bulk purchases. However, canned goods are the exception due to difficulties that suppliers are having. Therefore, the simple suggestion is, for canned food donations, go to the store. For other items, send cash to AFAC. The participation of some area faith groups was also acknowledged. Their food pantries have experienced a dramatic increase in attendance. Looking forward to the anticipated beginning of the next school year this fall, the idea of donations to help students with negative school lunch balances was raised. We feel that this is a nice idea, but we wonder, why not simply forgive the negative balances at the top administrative level? The savings of time and effort in tracking all the donations and balances would probably be worthwhile in and of itself. Toward the end of the meeting, the subjects of homelessness and hygiene were raised, and this raised another question that time did not permit asking. Before COVID-19, I could personally escort a homeless person into a restaurant such as the Subway in Ballston and treat them to a simple lunch. At that point, the homeless person became an official customer and would be granted access to the restroom where they could wash up. I did this on more than one occasion, making sure that the person I was helping understood and took appropriate advantage of their status as customer. Now the restaurants are offering carry-out only, so their hygienic facilities are no longer available. Worse yet, the Parks Department has closed and locked their restrooms. How is a homeless person or even a long-range hiker supposed to wash their hands with soap and water several times a day? That solution at least seems simple. Keep the courts locked, but unlock the facilities for public hygiene. The meeting closed at 1:04 p.m. with a final message from Mr. DeFerrante reminding everyone to stay home, wash their hands, and observe social distancing. We look forward to next week's productive gathering. Hef Munson signing off from Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News.